What's going on, people? Birds, what's up? Live and here on the scene, college football selection show, part one, Halloween edition. Yeah. We're going to just break in here and watch the show as it starts to come on here in about 15 minutes. And we're just going to give our idea and our opinions on kind of where we think maybe teams that we may like to be, the top 25, and maybe an idea of probably where they're going to be at. We all kind of assume Michigan's probably going to be. They put them at 2. They'll probably put Georgia at 1. So, see this guy right here, Birds. What's up, son?
I'm not so sure they put Georgia at 1. I'm looking for Georgia at 2 or 3 here with Ohio State and Michigan above them.
You know what? I watched. Is anybody else? Do y'all watch Greg McElroy's podcast?
Anybody else watch? I sometimes do, but I hadn't caught it lately.
Well, he likes to do stuff. He did one like kind of like who is deserving of this rankings, and
gotcha.
A blind resume. I think that's what he calls it, blind resume. We're not going to look at their helmets, not going to look at what state they're from. Let's just look at, what teams this blind team has played. And actually, who he had one? Florida State.
I was going to say either Florida State or maybe Washington.
Yeah. Yeah, Thriller. I think that one just went off. Is the music too loud? Can you kind of hear it, but it's not aggravating, or you may not hear it?
I don't even hear it.
Okay. They can hear it a little bit. So what's your feeling on this? You kind of like?
I kind of like. You know what? I was gonna go with Michigan and then Ohio State. But I just think that the committee is going to look at Ohio State's wins over Penn State, and then a Wisconsin team that's going to be borderline top 25.
Yes,
I think you might see Ohio State at 1, Michigan 2, and I think Georgia probably at the 3, and followed by Florida State at 4.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's kind of going to be who you think is going to be who's going to be your first one out. Who's going to be 5?
I think at this point it's probably going to be Washington, followed by Oregon, and then you got your Texas Bama conundrum. What you want to do with that? In my opinion, Texas will be above Bama until Texas loses the second game, and then we won't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, and with Texas Tech later, which is not seeming to look like a very tough game. Yeah, their schedule's not too bad.
No.
Now with Oklahoma, getting their loss to Kansas, a lot of people have Oregon. I've seen some polls that had Oregon above Washington because of their play, and then 6, 7, 8 was like Washington, Oklahoma, Texas, Bama. And then Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss at 10 before I like. Some other people have. I think the AP had Oklahoma at 9. I you know how I'm about Oklahoma. We've done it those parts when we did those 2 weeks on. I just don't see it, man. I never saw it. They were lucky to even beat Texas, and we already know about the Texas Bama game. Bama beat them on the field. They had too many flags, and it cost them 14 points. So, and Bama's not great. They're a top 7, 6 team. And you can just Bama's kind of that team you can just kind of leave over there and just kind of let things go as they go. And we'll find out Saturday if they can win the West. And then if they win Saturday, it's pretty much just, it's going to be roll out Iron Bowl and the other whatever team they're going to catch later and see if they can beat Georgia. because that's just going to be, that's just is what it is. I think the committee is seeing it that way. And I think everybody thinks that Bama is playing better. And I think they are probably one of the most dangerous teams out there because you just don't know, you don't know which team you're going to get. You don't know which
true.
which version you're going to get of Bama. So that also leaves open that idea of Texas and K-State. Okay, now we know K-State won it last year. You know, can they beat? They have a shot to beat Texas? Sure, I think they do. And especially, we know that yours is not playing. It's not playing Saturday. You think there's any chance at all that K-State whomps up on them?
Possibly. I mean, you never
What's
know.
up, Mr. Lee? Georgia week, yeah. Jeff likes Ohio State, Georgia. Yeah, free shoes. I don't, Jeff. Read that. What?
He will not say it.
FSU. Okay, he's got Florida State at 4, 5 Washington, and 3 is Two-Ton. I guess that's Michigan. He usually puts an X instead of the M. Is that Michigan, Jeff? Nobody likes Ohio State. Jeff does. He's our number one fan, Keith. He's an Ohio State guy. He lives over at Carrollton. He reports a lot of stuff for us from over there. He watches Burgess Benton stuff a lot. High school Georgia coverage. About the photo of the Stallions in a Central match. Oh, and at Central Michigan. No, I don't know about that, Jeff. Tell us about it. Mr. Gerald Lee is the grandfather of the local guy here in the running for our week after, well, this coming week, Player of the Year, Jacob Cornejo.
Gotcha. That's all you had to say.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few. Yes, that team up north. Yeah. Yeah, he won't say. You can put X, Jeff. You don't have to put M. I know you can't. So let me think here. The AP polls, and you could go start out the bottom with who would you like coming in at the bottom? Probably.
You talking about at 6 or you talking about at 25?
25.
Whew, man, there's a smorgasbord of teams that they could have right now.
I'm gonna tell you who I'd put, and then most people watch us probably wouldn't argue with me. I got USC at 25. I'm just gonna tell you.
Yeah, I would say they would be down there. They've struggled, not playing a lot of defense. Offense has kind of struggled too. They're probably either 24 or 25. I mean, AP's got USC at 24.
Yeah. Honestly, Utah, they would probably be a 24 for me also, right in there.
AP's got a little more love. They got them at 18.
The K-State is in there somewhere, ain't they?
That is your 25th ranked team in the AP.
Okay. I didn't know if they'd bumped him up a little or. And what about Washington State or UCLA?
Well, AP wise, UCLA is 20, and Washington State, I don't see them anywhere.
Yeah, they may have fell off last week.
Should be an interesting. I'm sure they'll start. I don't know. Do they start at the top or do they start at 25? I'm not sure what they'll do.
I don't know. I have seen them start at the bottom, but I've also seen them do the first, teams out, like 5 and 6.
Yeah.
and then start at the bottom and then work
Especially
up to.
if there's nothing much changed. Now this is all fresh, so they may start at the very bottom here.
I would, if I was a betting man, I would think that's probably what they'll do tonight. They'll just start out with 25.
I would think you probably see like 15 through 25, and then go so on and so on.
With the Pac-12 and it's fixing to come on, ain't it? We got about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it up as soon as it comes.
Okay, there's only going to be maybe the only real shot of the Pac-12. We'll hit them first before they go on. Is Oregon or Washington the only?
That's it.
Okay. And now yeah, me too. And now ACC wise, I like Oregon, man. They're good. I know they lost to Washington. I know we're going to hear that forever, but I like how they play, man. They're skunking people. Bo Nix is playing really good. He's on my Heisman short list. He's probably a 2 right behind Daniels, but ACC wise, it's going to be Louisville or Florida State, and I'm sure most people are going to lean Free Shoes.
Yeah, I don't think Louisville can carry the load. I think Florida State's your only ACC.
Yeah. Athlete wise, just recruiting wise, I could say probably some at FSU, probably from a coaching sense, some might go from a hot seat to, hey, we really like this guy. How fast did that happen, Burge?
Let me tell you how that happens. W's. They give them some W's.
Yeah. Any kind of allegations you have about rumors of players taking money or maybe the school getting, illegal things. Well, you start winning some games and I don't know nothing about that. I'm not sure what you're talking about anymore. Those things they magically go away. Now, what about Dabo's comments? He goes off. He just goes off. What about that?
I think the comments were not exactly directed at that caller. I think, although some of it was, but I think some of it was just kind of frustration. And I don't know. He's got some work to do.
Well, that whole comment originally started, a week or two ago that, maybe, if we lose a few games, I guess y'all kind of, can appreciate some wins. And then he was just laying out facts of what he had accomplished there. Dude, Clemson wouldn't be on the map if it wasn't for Dabo. So I don't want to hear, nothing from their fans. They're just being ungrateful. Bama fans are bad at it. All fan bases have those people that expect, win at all. You can't go undefeated and win championships every year. That's just not logical. So he was just kind of laying out the foundation of what he had done there at Clemson. And the guy kind of insulted him, pretty much well, it felt like to me he's kind of just saying, you make too much money for the games that you're winning this year. Which, they all probably make too much money. If we really just want to really get right down to it, we can talk about teachers and policemen and people like that are really changing the world. Those people could, why can't they have 6-figure incomes? No, I ain't gonna get all philosophical, but so Clemson's taking a lick, and he don't like some of the stuff that they got, that they do on these new ideas and how how you get new kids and get transfers in and that kind of stuff. So. But, hey, hats off to him for being logical. And that's just him. And whether you agree with somebody or not, I can disagree with somebody. But if he sticks to his guns, I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can still appreciate somebody sticking to their guns on it. Maybe I don't agree with it, but he wants to run a good program. He's trying to run a clean, legit deal. But there's nothing illegal about getting in the portal and getting players, and he's going to have to plug and play some players because he's going to need some running backs, and you always got to build the line. You got to have offensive linemen. That's how you win games. You got to have a line. So SEC-wise, we talked about that. Bama LSU this weekend. A&M's pretty much out. LSU's kind of out, man.
Game for LSU, right?
Yeah, I mean – look, we talked about this before. Yeah. If LSU wins, I still don't know what that's going to mean.
it would have to be total chaos the rest of the way. I mean, I just don't see them getting in there.
No.
All righty,
There-
we're live.
Okay.
Oh, you're good. I mean, I'm just going to write down what they got coming so we can announce it.
Yeah, I'll assume that they probably stick with those guys. Halloween party mix. What? Well, I bet that's good, ain't it? I listened to about 3 seconds. I'm afraid to play any kind of other kind of music because
Yeah, get us kicked off.
yeah. I watched wrestling and it was playing in the back in the corner of the screen, like over here, like just like part of the screen. It was a WrestleMania or something, and I had the camera turned around like to my side. I was sitting over here on this end of the table, and God, man, I had the next day I had went way over 3,000 views. It was like 3,800, 3,900 views.
Wow.
Well, they struck it. So I got a message like that next night, and they said, we're going to give you the option you can take the video down or we'll strike for copyright infringement. And I'm like, I paid for the cut, other people don't. And I was like, oh, that's so stupid. So I took it down, but I got a lot of views. I probably picked up, I don't know, if I picked up 3 or 4 subscribers, I guess it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because I like wrestling. I don't watch it now like I used to.
No, it's not the same.
It's just different now. It is. I'll catch pay-per-views. I think Crown Jewel comes on Saturday, but it's like 1:00 because it's going to be in England or somewhere. So
yeah, overseas,
yeah. So I'm going to miss that. I'm not going. I'll catch it on Peacock or replay, but I'll catch Monday Night Raw some, probably twice a month, maybe just to see what's going on.
I'm kind of interested to see, kind of get a feel of this committee this year and see how they stack things up and how, like, what they value the most or what it seems they value.
Yeah, are they on with
their
road wins? Is it important to go on the road and win to them?
Yeah.
Is that something big, or are they just points scored in a game? Is that important to them? They want to see like Michigan beating people by 30, or winning tough games. Road rival games, Georgia Auburn games, close, but they find a way to win the game. What are they looking at?
I don't know, but we got our first couple out. We got 21 through 25. 25 is Air Force. 24 Tulane. Kansas State is 6-2 is 23. Okie State 6-2 is 22, and Kansas is 21.
Okay. Really? Wow. Okay.
Your USC team you were looking for at 20.
Okay. That's still too high. That's just me.
UCLA at 19, followed by Utah at 18. Tennessee all the way down at 17.
Yeah.
And Oregon State at 16.
Yeah, that's about right. That's kind of some of those are going to match up with AP, because it probably just makes it easier. They don't want to fuss or bicker over 25 through 10.
They're talking about how there's 4 teams between 16 to 20 all in the Pac-12 here. So the Pac-12's got a bunch of representatives. All right, 15 is Notre Dame. LSU follows at 14.
Let me look, Neil. I know what you're talking about.
Louisville at 13.
Louisville. Okay. That'll make the let me tell Neil something here. Where is it at?
Missouri at 12. 15 is Notre Dame. And Penn State at 11.
Where is? How do you get to that? That's a good question. Where is those at?
Is that a YouTube only thing, Matt?
Facebook.
Okay.
It's on Facebook. I don't. It's usually on the. It says you can support by I thought you could go to the comments and then you type in a comment, but I'm the show, so it's not going to let me do it. Yeah, it should be when you go to the comments, Neil. Let me see if it'll let me.
Some interesting stuff here.
Okay, what's up?
Ole Miss at 10, and
Okay,
your favorite team, Oklahoma, showing at 9.
that's still too high, man. Yeah, it's on the bottom there, Neil. So it says send stars to pin your comment. Yeah, you just click that little. It's lit up. I wish I could show you at the bottom there. There's a. If you can see that, I know at the bottom there the STAR word is lit up yellow. You just hit that, and it's like $1. You can send $1. I think Jeff does. He sends bicuspid. He comes on. It's like $1.
Number 8, Alabama. At number 8.
That's about where I expected them to be. It don't matter. I mean, it just really don't.
Texas is number 7.
So they got so they got Texas above Oklahoma. That's is this the show or is that something or is that the
No, it's just me.
Okay.
Texas at 7. So the top 6. And obviously they're going to talk about it for a second.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of their schedule is it's not very impressive, but this weekend's going to be that's going to be a game, man. There's just no guarantee. Texas is only
out. I mean, you never know.
Texas only favored by 4. Okay, the game is, by the way, is at 11 o'clock on Fox. Okay, 6-2 K-State versus 7-1 Longhorns. Brooks is almost 1,000 yards rushing and 572 yards catching for Worthy, 42 receptions, 4 touchdowns. The Howard kid has thrown for 1,600 yards. Giddens, Kansas State tailback, and Brooks. They have a Brooks also. Their Brooks is a receiver. So, don't get all crazy because Texas is. Let's look at the rest of their schedule here. They have, like I said, K-State 11 o'clock. Then on the 11th, they got TCU. And then the 18th, they got Iowa State. And then they finish out Thanksgiving that weekend, the 24th at 6:30 on ABC, Texas Tech. But see, none of those teams are ranked, Burge.
Yep.
So, phew. And K-State was what, 25?
K-State is 23.
Okay, that's big, man. That they got to win that game. They can. Oh, they're done. I mean, they've already lost 1, so they don't want to be 7-2.
As far as this schedule go, or the rankings go, the initial ranking. You talk about Georgia's remaining schedule: 17 Tennessee, 12 Missouri, and number 10 Ole Miss. So they'll have to prove it.
Yeah. And Missouri, Kevin says, Daniel's our old buddy here, that Missouri has him worried a little bit. They are a good team. They throw the ball well. I think they can score on Georgia. Georgia's run game has got to maybe. I don't think it matters a whole lot. They're not,
Number 6.
I like that. Yeah, that's fine. I can deal with that. I don't think Georgia's got too much to. I don't think Missouri can run the ball enough to be good enough to lose to Missouri. I don't think Missouri's good enough to run the ball.
Number 5, Washington Huskies.
Yeah. See, there you go. So you got your Pac-12 hanging out at 5 and 6, and they're going to play, guys. Okay, let's remember that 5 and 6. They're going to play in about 3 weeks. And I bet money when we get there in the top, they're going to have Michigan and Ohio State 1 and 2. And they're going to play too. And it don't matter, Georgia fans. It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter if Georgia's 4. It really don't matter if Georgia was 5.
Florida State.
Florida State 4. Yeah, I can dig it. I'm curious how they're going to lay out this one. It really don't matter.
I expect to see Georgia next at 3.
I'm going to say Ohio State's 3, and they're going to put Georgia at 2. I won't be surprised if Georgia's 3, but now Florida State, like I said, their record is it speaks for itself.
Yep.
They've beat more ranked teams, I think, than anybody.
I do have a few close calls as well, though.
Yep.
But who doesn't at this point?
Yeah, and that's the question. Like we said, how's this committee? Do they like? Okay, they found a way to beat Duke 38-20. Or they played a close game with Boston College.
Number Michigan 3, Michigan.
Really?
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Okay. So it's going to be Ohio State and Georgia. They're not going to move Georgia. They ain't lost.
Number 2 is the Dogs.
Okay. Well, 1 and 3 is going to play. So one of them's going out. So the first one in is going to be Pac-12 champ, guys. Go ahead and write it down because Florida State State has Pitt the 4th, and then they play North Alabama the 18th, and then they will play Louisville for the ACC. So go ahead and I would go ahead and assume, go ahead and get your tickets, Florida State fans.
Ohio State is your number 1 team.
So that's kind of how I had been doing Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia. So they just kind of swapped them around. We're all pretty close, but okay. So let's answer your question. Well, hey Jody, what's up? Then what does it seem that they're enjoying? What do they, if they got 1, 2, 3, Georgia was 2. So they're knocking them a little bit because they're playing some, like I've been griping on them. I'm a SEC guy, and I'm going to gripe on my champions. They want them to win those games by a little more. Pull away and stop fooling with these guys so much. That Auburn game, I know it's what it is, and 2 or 3 other games they play close. So, but Ohio State, now they have
number 11 Penn State and number 15 Notre Dame. That's the 2 wins, Cody.
Right.
That's why they're number 1 right now.
Right. Yeah. So their value of beating ranked opponents, but Georgia's fixing to hit that playing ranked opponent train. They're going to come by the old station this Saturday, and they're going to pick up one and play at home and play Missouri. So Georgia's fixing to get on that train. So next week, with Georgia beating Missouri, it may not change. I don't know how are they going to, are they going to move them around, week by week, or
I don't think it would change too much, and unless it's just a shellacking.
Now, where was Missouri at on that list?
Missouri is ranked 12.
See, that's a good game. So you got number 2 versus 12.
Yep.
So that's a quality game.
The reasons why Georgia was 2 and Michigan 3. Michigan's got 111th strength of schedule. Georgia's 100th strength of schedule, and Ohio State was like 11 so far because of the games that they've played so far. So yeah, I agree with you, man. I think your Pac-12 winner,
yep,
especially if it's Washington, that leaves no doubt there. If it's Washington, they're in. Florida State, your ACC winner. If Florida State is the ACC winner, they're in. The winner of your Ohio State Michigan game probably going to be in. And then you got to see what Georgia does in the rest of the schedule in the SEC championship game.
Do you think that if if Oregon beats Washington in the Pac-12 that they're going to let in? Now their only loss would have been to Washington, so with them revenging that game, and let's just say Oregon wins 46-30. If they beat them, or 46-32. If they beat them by 2 touchdowns or something, okay. Does that allow Oregon in? For me, it does, but will it to them, to the committee?
Don't know enough yet, to be honest with you.
That they value, playing ranked teams. So obviously they don't. They're a little down on Michigan. Honestly, I mean they got them at 3. Dude, Georgia, the only reason I have Michigan ones because they've just been whacking the unranked teams that they're playing.
They punished them because of strength of schedule.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because it's not good. I mean, it's like 130 something, but they're winning by a lot. I can deal with that. That's the only reason if they had been playing some like 3 or 4 of these games close, I'd keep Georgia 1 and have Ohio State 2, and I'd have it like they do or something, or I'd have Georgia 1.
Yeah.
Well, the Big 12 will shake out. Well, look, if K-State beats Texas this weekend, what are we going to have? Oklahoma K-State Big 12 championship?
I just don't know if either one of them is getting there.
It's going to this weekend there's some important games this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Georgia, Missouri weighs heavy on ideas of how is Missouri really decent? Even if Missouri loses if Georgia beats them by a touchdown, I'm going to walk away saying Missouri's got a pretty good football team. We think they do now. I had them winning 7. I think Dean had them winning 6. We knew coming in the year how they were going to be good. I mean, pretty good, but I don't know who's seen Burden coming in and being, the leading receiver in the conference, and him and Neighbors, old boy from LSU. They're putting it together. I think Brock Bowers being out actually is going to help the team out with forcing other guys. Well, that's good in theory, Kevin, and those are powerful words. But when you lose your best player on the team, that it's hard to replace guys like that. When Williams went out in the game at halftime against Georgia, it's just made a difference. It's just hard to replace that speed, that eliteness. It's just hard to replace. Will Georgia be okay with the rest of their schedule? I think so. I don't think it'll just hinder them terribly. But, hey, if Georgia wins out and wins this thing and they get in the playoff, they win the rest of their games, they win the SEC, I think that Bowers not being there can make a big difference against an Ohio State team.
If they get to Ohio State, he'll be there, brother.
Okay. I hope he plays. I hope Mom and Dad don't come in and say, well, you're going.
From what I've heard and what I've been told, when he can get back on that field, he'll be there.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
Because they'll need him. They get in the playoff and he don't play.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's hard to say, well, they're going to lose if he don't. That's just, you can't say that. But you can't say that it's going to help them win if he ain't there neither. That'd be stupid to say. They got it easy with or without him. Now, I don't know about that. Not to win a title. Not to win national. You need all hands on deck because obviously those other teams have made it for a reason too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so with Bowers, yeah, we think Murray and Lovett, but yes, And that's what I'm saying. The rest of the schedule and teams, that's playing right now, I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. But when you got to line up against other teams that also have top recruiting classes and elite players, not just playing, unranked teams and that kind of stuff, it'll definitely be help if he plays, right?
Oh, absolutely. Here in a minute, they're going to talk with the chair of the committee. Is that still Boo Kerrigan, or is it someone different?
Let me see. Let's see here.
I don't even know.
Where is the? Oh, crud.
Yes, it's Boo Kerrigan. I just seen the thing come across.
Okay. Selection Show 2023. Oh, not baseball. What in the Sam world's going on around here? Oh, good gracious, man.
LSU at 14. That gives Alabama an opportunity for a good ranked win.
Yes. I'm trying to find. There's a couple other shows like ours on right now that's doing the same thing we're doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. College Football Selection Show. It's on ESPN?
Yes.
Trying to see if somebody had a copycat stream up somewhere so I could see who's. No.
Oh, we got the always wanted Heather Dinage reaction coming up.
I mean, the Auburn
How do
fan.
you feel about Heather Dinage?
She's an Auburn fan. She's riding for Auburn. That's where she started at Auburn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's kind of come through the Paul Feinbaum school. There's not a lot of Alabama fans that do this, or Georgia fans, really. They're mostly Auburn fans, man. I don't know why. I mean, you can go through the list. Rich Davis is a Bama graduate. I know that. But a lot of these other people, if they're from the SEC people, they're Auburn. I don't know what it is. I don't.
Herbie said that of all the teams out of the top four, he would not want to play Oregon right now. He thinks Oregon is a darn good team.
That's my fire team right now. If you want to do a power rankings right now, Michigan, Oregon 2, Ohio State 3, Florida State 4, you know what I'm saying? Georgia 5, Alabama would probably be about a number 8 on 9 on my power rankings. I'm serious. Oregon is the team right now. They're just playing good, man. Dan has done a great job up there with them. Watching the Colorado game and watching the Washington game, you can tell that Dan is an SEC guy. He's from this tree, from around here, from Kirby, from Saban, etc. Dude, they come in. They hit hard. They tackle well. That's something I've really, really noticed about them.
Luke Kerrigan's basically saying that the win over Penn State, the win at Notre Dame, is the reason why Ohio State is ranked 1 over the other.
Well, that was a good game.
Yeah.
I love that game, dude. I think, Dinkin, we watched that game. I don't know if we found out well, it's early, too. And I don't know if they may have been a lot of jitters because we found out that Notre Dame's not great. And they got Clemson this weekend. And all the money, the house money is on Notre Dame, okay, to win that game. But don't count out the Fighting Sweeneys down there at Sweeney Land. So how good, really is Notre Dame? Then they kind of whack USC pretty good, but, they lose to Louisville or, you know what I'm saying? That's just – I'm kind of a toss-up about Notre Dame. I'm kind of in a conundrum. So that win, using that as evidence to say Ohio State, I couldn't sell that. I know they're ranked, and but here's the thing, and I've done this against Bama too. Do we do we use that evidence to say when they beat them, where they were ranked, or where are they ranked now? Do you know what I'm saying? Like if, Bama, Georgia beats Missouri this weekend, Missouri's 12. Well, if they beat Missouri at number 12, well, if they beat them, they're going to fall to, 17, 18. Well, towards the end of the year, are we going to go back and say, well, Georgia beat a number, 19 Missouri? Well, no, at the time they were 12. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
what can help Georgia there is where do they fall to and what do they got left? So
yeah,
they climb up another 2 spots. It depends on what teams fall.
Yeah. And they don't.
They're asking Boo Kerrigan about the sign stealing, and he's basically saying, as long as they're legal to play, as long as they're a team that we can judge, the sign stealing is not coming into play, and they're ranking or any of that.
Well, Uncle Lou, if anybody knows Lou, Lou Tube over there on YouTube, you watch him birds?
I know you're talking about. I don't watch it, but I know you're talking
about. When I see it on, I'll stop. Well, he had his top 25 on yesterday, like maybe last night, and he had Michigan at 5. And his backing to that idea was because of the sign stealing. He's like, I don't think they're going to let them in the playoffs because of this sign stealing. I was like, Lou, you're a booger picking Marlboro red smoker. Stop. What are you doing? I'll go in there and call. I call him up.
They get anything done that fast.
No, it'll be next year. If any kind of punishment comes down at all, it'll be next year. Okay, Georgia. Let's see. They have, the 4th this weekend. They got Missouri at 2:30. CBS guys, tune in for that. It'll be a good game. Then Georgia has on the 11th, they have number 10 ranked by AP. Ole Miss. Are they 10 on
college football?
Okay. Yeah. And then they will play the 18th, number 17, Tennessee Volunteers. So Georgia's going to meet right here. Missouri at home, Ole Miss at home. Then they go to Tennessee, and of course y'all always finish the year. When's the Georgia Tech game?
Improved Georgia Tech. I'll give them that. Improved Georgia Tech.
Yeah, well, they're winning some games.
Yep.
Where's the dang Georgia Tech game? Yeah, the 25th, be same weekend like the Iron Bowl and whatever. Georgia Tech's 4-4 still. So you go over and look at that record. Yeah. So, but hey, that's good. Hey, look, Georgia goes out here and whacks these guys and beats all these teams by 2 touchdowns. I don't want to hear nothing. And I'm going to put Georgia at 1, and I don't want to hear nobody say nothing about it. And if they don't like it, I don't know what to tell you.
Let me ask you this. After seeing this ranking, if, say, say Washington beats Oregon and knocks them down, Texas loses, that's going to move Alabama up a few spots. Georgia dominates these next teams coming up, and then they lose to Bama in the SEC championship game. What do you do with Georgia? What do you do with Bama?
I'm telling you, dude, if they whack the rest of these 3 teams by 10 plus, they've handled the game. They don't have to come back, or they don't have to kick a field goal to beat Tennessee or have a late drive like they did with Auburn against Ole Miss, because I've seen Ole Miss play twice.
Yeah.
They should be able to beat Ole Miss. Now, they can score the ball, and I'm curious about that. So, if they could win the rest of these, I don't care if they win or lose, they're going to be 4, unless, somebody's got to come out. Florida State should run the table. Dude, we just talked, their schedules, they got South Alabama and Pitt. Okay.
Yeah, Florida State's running the table. I agree. I would probably pencil them in already.
Now, if Louisville plays upset of the freaking century, so I guess we'll have to see. But, okay, let's take this. Let's assume that because we'll assume Ohio State wins out. They're number 1, right?
Yep.
All right, Georgia's 2. They went out, lose their conference game. Michigan lost. They went out, and they only lost they have is their conference game. Now, what do you do with Georgia and Michigan? Because they're both going to be standing there on the porch crying with their hand out saying, golly, man, we won every one of our games. What I mean, and Georgia's going to say, we beat 4 ranked opponents in the top 15. 4 teams they will have beaten in the top 15 or well, Tennessee's not. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. But
yeah.
So, well, what are you going to do? Well, Michigan's out. Sorry, buddy. You lost. You're done. Georgia's beat that many 4 ranked teams. Okay, Georgia, you can come up here and stand on the porch, but stand over there to keep your head down and be quiet.
I think they set that precedent tonight by having Michigan lower than Georgia with the schedule that they've already had.
Yep.
And Michigan been beating teams, like you said, by more than Georgia has. You know.
Yeah.
I think they set that precedent, or to where if Michigan loses a game, the fact that their weak schedule that they've had is going to eliminate them from playoff.
Yeah. Well, it's a win or go home, period. So Georgia's going to stand up there on the porch and they're going to have their head down. They're going to be quiet, but they're on the porch. Now they lost the SEC title game. Ohio State won. They're going to be big dogs. They're going to stand up there on the porch with their shirt off or overalls. Only one overall buckled. You know what I'm talking about?
Have Florida State at 2 at that point.
Yes, and Georgia would be 4. And Florida State, they're going to run the table. But what do you do with Washington if they run the table? I mean, they finished their season. They beat Oregon again. What do you do with Oregon? You tell Georgia, get off the porch, you made a mistake. You got to you're going to drop a Pac-12 champ, undefeated Pac-12 champ. The only scenario, if all that happens the way it does, and Georgia does lose to Bama, Bama's not getting in if all that happens that way. I don't know how they could nearly put a 1 loss. I just don't know. You're talking about putting in an undefeated Michigan. an undefeated Ohio State, a 1-loss Georgia, and then a 1-loss Oregon, because I would assume Oregon would beat Washington.
Yep.
Sheesh.
Yeah, they're not going to be fun. It looks like it's going to be something to watch to the very last ranking. It doesn't look like it's going to be cut and dry, but you never know. But
the only way Bama would make it, Alabama fans listening, and all that, if that worked out, Ohio State wins and Florida State wins, that'll be you 1 and 2. Bama beats Georgia. The only chance you could hope for, I think, would be for Oregon to beat Washington. And then you would have Ohio State, Florida State, Oregon, Bama. And Ohio State would play Ohio State and Bama would play game 1, and Florida State and Oregon would play game 1. And then the winner of those two, give me Oregon and give me Bama.
You're gonna have to hope Texas loses another one though. Texas wins out. They're not going. Bama's not. Well, they might jump them with a win over Georgia.
Yes, they would. Because I don't.
You'll find out how much head-to-head matters at that point.
Yeah, you're right. Are they going to look at it by, just the score? Or did they watch the Texas Bama game?
And have they seen what the teams have done since then?
Yeah,
because to me, Bama's improved in Texas.
Oh yeah. Well, they ain't got their quarterback right now. That hurts them.
Yeah.
I mean, does that hurt them? Put them in the playoffs? I don't know. I don't think that's fair to not rank a team low because they're starting. Because then you're just basing your opinion off of what you think may be, and you can't do that. You got to base it off what is. You're supposed to base this off facts of what we've seen, not what we think will come. So I don't have a big problem with how it's kind of laid out right now. But Bama, you would have to hope that Oregon beats Washington in the Pac-12, and Oregon and Oklahoma and Texas already lost a game. The winner, winner would have to win.
Can Washington get to the championship game? I mean, they're at USC this week. They got Utah next week, and at Oregon State the following week.
I think so. They should, but I don't think they. I mean, the way they've been playing, man, they're just kind of piddling around, dude. I don't either. But they should. I mean, you look at their team and how they play. Heck, man, they ain't no reason they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be up there playing. they've got the guys and the players to do it. But will they do it, or can they? I think they can. Will they? I don't know. That will be something for us to keep eye on, and that'll be a great reason to tune in with us and on Sunday nights, and Birds come on with us, and we'll break all this stuff down 6 ways from Sunday, because this Saturday it's really going to start getting interesting. K-State, Texas. The what?
A lot of big game.
Yeah, Georgia, Missouri. It's important. It's the most important game because it's the next game. Now, Bama, LSU. We're going to find out. And for the next 3 weeks, we hadn't been able to talk about Georgia a whole lot because they just ain't playing nobody. I don't care to break down Ball State in Georgia or Chattooga Middle School in Georgia. I don't want to talk about that. I just assumed these games, Missouri, you don't see how Cook, let's see how Burden does against them D-backs at Georgia. Let's see how Tennessee matches up. Are they going to let off the gas again? Because they said they learned their lesson with Bama. Now, they're going to do the same thing when they play Georgia. It's going to be something worth looking into. It's going to be something worth finding out. That's why you need to come back here to the best dang sports show going right here, live on Sunday nights, guys. We've been doing this for years, and we've been coming on at 6 o'clock for a long time. And we're going to talk about our local kids and stuff always. But this is fixing to get into the meat. We're fixing to – it's fixed to start lining up to see where our conference is. I mean, are you going to play for your conference? Well, the ACC don't really have a conference East or West anymore, or Atlantic and Coastal. They're just going to play 1 and 2, which is what that's what we'll all be doing next year, right?
Yes, sir. I like
so
it.
right – well, Bama and Georgia will play right now, then, if that's how we – right?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, but it would still matter. This LSU game would matter, because if they go out, guess who moves up the poll? Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yes, sir.
And guess who Georgia plays next week?
Yep.
That would be the SEC championship game. They could play Ole Miss next week if we do it like we're going to do next year, and then they would play them again in 3 weeks. I mean, a month. What about that?
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna bring a lot of different angles next year, and the schedules next year too. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like there's gonna be if you're undefeated next year, you earned it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll say this, and this, what I'm going to say is going to bring up topics that we're going to have many, many debates about all through next spring and summer. Is it possible? Is there a possibility that, look, man, you don't have to go out and be battered and tortured to win all your games to get in the number 12. So, who was 12? Missouri.
Missouri.
All right. Missouri's in the playoff next year. We're just going to flash forward Halloween of next year, and they start breaking out this top 12. Missouri's in. Now, the top 4 are off. 5 plays 12, 6 plays 11, 7 plays 10, and so on and so forth. Me and Birds did that back in the summer. And who'd we wind up with champs? I don't know, Bama or Georgia. We broke it down, and we still wound up with.
If you had that now, you'd have Washington hosting Missouri, Oregon hosting Penn State, Texas hosting Ole Miss, and Alabama hosting Oklahoma.
Wow. Now that is some football games. Now all the people, me and you were on for this. Remember, Todd hated it. I can't stand this. This is crazy. This is just run football. It's crap. What in the crap's going on? Garbage. I ain't watching another stupid game, 12 team. And then we come on after about 2 weeks of it, and I started showing him possibilities of games. And then, I mean, as a fan of the game, which he is, of course, he's going to go, Yeah, I do like that. Oh, wait a minute. That matchup? Yeah, that would be a good game.
Yeah.
Texas and Kansas. Yeah, that would be a Georgia and Texas. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take that game. Go back through them again. Let's do that again. Tell me those again. 5 and 12 is Washington and
5-12 would be Washington
Missouri.
hosting Missouri.
Wow. See, dude, does that not kind of make you think, well, I'd like to see how that turns out, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it'd be contrasting styles for sure.
Absolutely.
And then you'd have Penn State going on the road at Oregon.
I'll take Oregon.
Ole Miss on the road at Texas.
That'd be a good one. That
And
would be a good game.
Alabama at home against Oklahoma.
I'll take Bama. So out of all those, I could pick Ole Miss, Bama, Oregon, and Missouri. That's who I would take.
So you take Ole Miss,
Bama, Missouri, and Oregon.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm going.
SEC teams. I think Missouri could. They're physical. We'll just give it a shot in the dark. They may beat Missouri. I mean, Washington. Now, most everybody's gonna laugh at me when I say that, but that's okay.
All right, I got it drawn up here now. So, you said you would take Washington or Missouri?
Missouri.
All right, so you're gonna go Mizzou in the 5-12 matchup, and they would play. Mizzou would face off against Florida State.
Ooh, they're done.
And then
they're out. They're out.
All right, your 6-11 matchup. Let's see here. Oregon and Penn State. You take Oregon, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Oregon would face Michigan.
Give me the Ducks. I don't know if nobody could beat them right now, man. I'm telling you, their power is ranked number 1.
Texas and Ole Miss.
I like Ole Miss.
All right. Ole Miss would go to or would face Georgia.
Well, we'll see that 2 weeks, buddy.
Yep.
Now, if Ewers plays at Texas, if he's playing, I might could lean Texas. But with him being out, we're just taking it as it is today.
You know who that would leave Alabama playing?
Ohio State, yeah.
Yep.
Right now, if Bama played Ohio State would be picked by 6.5. And I think I would.
You take Florida State over Missouri.
Yeah.
You said Oregon over Michigan?
Yes.
I'm just assuming UGA over Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And what about your Alabama Ohio State game?
I don't know. I don't think Bama has the dudes to beat them this year. Now, if they played a full game like they played Tennessee the second half, I believe they could run with them. I believe they could make a run at it. And depending on how the play calling's going, but I can't base it off nothing but what I've seen. And I would have to. Where would the game be at?
That would be one of those neutral site games, like
would be a Sugar or an Orange or
one of the bowl games. Yeah.
If it's at the Sugar, I'm taking Bama. I'm telling you, I would. Now, if we play the Ohio State at the Orange Bowl, nope, I don't like us playing down there. And I know we beat Notre Dame, but that team wasn't that good.
So let's just, for instance, go with Ohio State. It would be
the
next round will be Ohio State, Florida State, and Oregon, Georgia, which we've seen that last year. I don't think it would be a result like last year, though.
No. See, and after we went through all that, we still got the same teams really that's right there.
In Ohio State.
I just eliminated Washington with Missouri, and then Missouri got eliminated the next week by Florida State. And I just picked that to make it to come out weird.
Yeah.
So basically, you kind of got the same thing.
Yeah, it's going to be the same teams, I think, in the final rounds. Some people say, well, this 12 teams can include some of the smaller teams.
Well,
Man,
good luck.
this 12 teams is to get the blue bloods in playing each other, is it not?
Yeah, I know what people think. And people want to say, well, this is going to give the guys like USF those opportunities, or FIU, Florida. No, it's not. It's not. There's going to be hardly any chance of Coastal Carolina to come in ranked 12 with one loss. All right, let's take James Madison. Let's just say they keep on winning. They win their conference. They put them at 12. 12 plays 5, which is 5 is a really good team, but they probably got a loss, and they probably lost a game on the road somewhere, but they're a good team. Let's just say next year Bama's 5 because they lose a game on the road. LSU. Do you think Coastal Carolina's got a chance to beat a one-loss Bama team? No. Have you seen Bama don't hardly start, but like 3 seniors on defense and a few on offense. A lot of those guys are coming back.
Yeah.
You think Bama's bad this year? Next year they are going to be good.
Now,
so Coastal gets beat. Coastal don't got a chance with that.
One thing to keep in mind in this 12-team playoffs is it's not going to line up the way the committee finishes the voting, because the top 6 the top 6 will consist of the 6 highest rated conference champs. So if the 6th highest rated conference champ is a number 13 team, they will be the number 6 seed. That makes sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah, and it could be a Coastal Carolina.
Like, for instance, whoever wins this, Oklahoma, Texas, we think, there could be a 7 or 8 seed that would be up, in the top 6.
Yes. It gives but it still ain't gonna. I just don't see that example I just give, like Coastal Carolina. They come in, they're division champs, and they're going to be a 6, seed because they're a non-Power 5, because they're going to have Power 5 winners 1 through 5, right? Your normal ACC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac. Well, there's not going to be a Pac 12, so I guess I don't count for that. But I don't see Coastal Carolina. Are they going to come in because round 1 they're going to be number 6, so they'll play number 11. So they may be the number 11 team. Say if they catch next year. Yes, say we'll just use Tennessee. I think Tennessee's going to be a 9-win team probably for a while. I think. Now Bama's probably going to beat them probably this year and then probably next year, and they may get Bama in 2 years. I'm just saying. So let's just say Tennessee's 9. Can these perennial teams that are, recruiting in the top 10 year in, year out, Tennessee have a 7-6 recruiting class, wind up maybe having a number 5 recruiting class next year, and Coastal Carolina's recruiting class is like number 78. Now, can, a Camel strike oil out in the middle of the ocean? I guess so, if you want to just say, luck be the lady tonight. But probably not. It's just not very likely that Coastal Carolina will be that one team, to plug in the seed up there. But if they're 6, they'll play 11. I just don't see it. And that's what people want. They think they want this 12-team playoff. All this crap started because of Bama. It's just because of the Bama Clemson stuff. People were sick of seeing the SEC get in. When Bama beat LSU that year, lost to them, and they wound up beating them again, that started it. People are sick of the SEC. They're sick of Bama. But all this is going to do is put in more SEC teams and chances to win. It just is. Maybe I'm wrong and I'm being a homer, but the Big Ten's going to be good. But what's USC going to be next year, Burge? What? They're going to win 8 games? I don't even think Riley's going to be there. He supposedly has been meeting with the Vegas Raiders to take the OC job out there. So all these teams are going to jump to Big Ten. Well, good luck with that, because this ain't going to be you soft little patty cake football. Because by God, Iowa and Wisconsin, They may not win about 7-8 games a year, but I guarantee you they know how to check their oil and they'll rotate your tires for you. They're going to knock your head off. I mean, these boys play football up there. You can go watch their Pee Wee leagues up north. They're great. It's like Texas. They ain't no joke. They ain't no joke.
I got a question. What conferences are want to be included in this top 6 conferences? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
who all is included in that?
Well, there's not a Power 5 anymore because there's not
I know.
There's not a Pac-12, so it'll have to be. Are they going? No, they can't do that. Will they include a Conference USA?
I don't know. That seemed like that would be just a whooping wait to happen.
I mean, that'd be JSU's, group. Liberty, which Liberty's number 1 offense in the country, or them and LSU. Right? But yeah, but good. I mean, could Liberty beat LSU? And LSU's defense is not even legit, not great. No. I don't think they could score enough to beat LSU. I don't know if their guys could tackle or block. Their offensive line couldn't block. What's those big boys named in at LSU? I don't know if they could block them. So I don't know. That's a good question. We're going to have a lot of time to talk about that too.
I want to pull up the Massey rate to do a prospective matchup between them and LSU. That would be interesting.
Let's see. Who will the top 6 be for the new?
It would give LSU a 83% chance of winning. Average score final 42-24.
Okay, CBS guys, I'm going to put this on the page right now. 3 hours ago, this is pretty cool that we're talking about this, and they just done it. Oh, God darn it, bless America.
Just a little tidbit. ESPN predictor says that Big Ten has a 42% chance to put 2 teams in the playoffs. While the SEC only has 9% chance.
Who does now?
ESPN playoff predictor. Big Ten has a 42% chance to put 2 teams in the playoffs.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I don't. I'll have to see it to believe it. So you're telling me that there's a chance. Okay. The interesting thing is going to pick up even more, says Craig Thompson, the former Mountain West commissioner and another regional architects of the expanded field. Whether Bob's right or not, 30-35, which will be fairly accurate, is going to be. By golly, my team didn't make the championship game of my conference, but we only had 2 losses. My 10-2 team is a heck of a lot better than your 11-1 team. Record TV rankings, attendance is up, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Give me a Cinderella's college football, stiff-armed. Now, it can't be avoided. If the 12-team playoff was in place this season, Air Force, Tulane, and Liberty would be in the contentions for a playoff spot. Okay, November 1st. But expand your mind for the expanded playoff this season. So this season would be the likes of Missouri, Ole Miss, Louisville, Oregon State, Utah, K-State, and Fresno State. Seeding amplified. The top 4 seeds, all conference champions. All right, here we go. They'll get the first round buys. All right, we know that. The top 4. So that'd be ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12. Okay, you win your conference, those teams, you get a bye. Okay, that in itself will cause a competition within a competition to avoid having to play an extra game. Win, and you're in. Not exactly. In a 12-team field, there might be multiple teams that lose their last game and still find a spot in the playoff. That happened last year in the 14 field with Ohio State. The first team inclusion of 3 lost teams, it's unavoidable with a 12-team field. But consider this discussion ahead. CBS Sports fan in that sense, college football playoff debut in 2014. 15 teams have finished in the top 12 of the final CFP rankings at 9-3. That's an average of 1.66 per season. The SEC led the category with 6 of the 15. Florida AD Scott Strickland, a former member of the college football selection. I go back to the basketball selection committee example. That happens all the time. Teams whose record doesn't look as good as others, but they played a much better schedule and had a much better resume, got in. There you go. So that's can answer. They're doing it already. That's the knock on Michigan. Even though, Georgia's ahead, even though they just beat, Auburn by a touchdown, but, they do have played a ranked team and they got their futures ahead of them. So 8 and 12 and 16 team playoffs. They studied all these different models. These are only after this had walked out on January 22 meeting. They didn't agree. Yeah, I just shared it on the page. Skip down about halfway. That's kind of where it gets to some of the details. So it sounds to me that coaches typically have bonuses of $500,000 to $1 million written into their contracts by making the playoff. Plus, you win your conference, you get another bonus.
We got some snow football and some action on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I believe it. So that's kind of a roundabout go around the page and you can read it. It's a CBS Sports article. The top 4 teams, so those 4 conferences, our major 4, they'll be off. And then 5 will play 12 and 6 will play 11. And then the next week, those 4 will jump in and play all match off, and then we'll find out. So I guess the way it said it there, it's just going to be the 4.
Yeah, the next 2 will be it's just going to be the 4.
That's the way they get a bye. They said that if you're those power 4 conference, which will be, I'm assuming, there's no Pac-12, so it'd have to be ACC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC, right?
That's the only power conferences left.
Yeah. So we'll say this year, let's just for giggles, we'll make it Florida State wins ACC. I think it's kind of a deal. Georgia wins the SEC, and the Big 10, Ohio State's ahead, so we'll say they win it. And who's the highest ranked Big 12 team right now? Texas?
Yes, sir. 7.
Okay. So Texas wins so those teams right there are automatically get a bye. Now they didn't say wait a minute now. Let me think about what I'm just saying. It didn't say they would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Boy, that's a good question. Let's just say we take where they're at right now. And they're bye that first week. Now, Texas has lost a game. Now, we can't assume that just because you're a conference champion, you're going to be undefeated and it's just going to lay out 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
No, it
just says they're going to be off that first round.
If you're only taking the top 4 power champions, it doesn't matter
if they're ranked 20.
Sounds like to me, it don't matter if they're 6 and 6 if they won their conference.
Yeah,
and they're in.
Yeah. So let's just take Texas. Let's just say Texas dumps to Kansas State this weekend, and then they go on and finish, beat Tech, and then play Oklahoma for whatever, and they win. They win the Big 12. Well, because Texas lost to K-State this weekend, they're probably going to drop them down to, after a few ahead of them or below them win and loss, they may wind up at 15. So now you got a Big 12 champ at 15. Georgia kind of hangs around where they're at, number 2 or 3. They get a bye. Florida State finishes probably where they're at, about 4. There'll be a bye. And Big 10. So there could be a weird team laying on the outside like, I don't know, maybe the Pac – there ain't going to be no Pac-12 next year. Okay, anyway, so they're out. So there could be a weird team like ranked number 7 that's going to be, they play 12. They could be, 9 and 3 and be a Big 10 champion. Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they don't have to play that first week because it just says, it don't say number 1 through 4. It just says the 4 conference champions get a bye. And that don't mean they're going to be ranked 1 through 4. So I didn't think about it that way till just now. They may be ranked number 2, 5, 7, and 8.
Yep.
So then what does that mean for the top 4?
I mean, they should be your top 4 though, right?
Well, no. That's what I'm saying. I mean, what if Texas has 2 losses and they're ranked number 7, at the end of the year? Oh, they're Big 12 champs. Hooray. Texas Longhorns. Hook them. They win. But they're ranked 8 because they've lost 2 games.
Well, it says that the highest ranked conference champs will be your teams getting the bye.
All right. So if you take out number 8, Texas, and I'm just making this up, and you take out number 5, Florida State, you take out number 4, Ohio State, and you take out number 1, Georgia. You pull all those slots out, then you just kind of bump everything up. Then those guys will play the top.
Yeah, then you fill your remaining spots. That's the way it sounds to me.
So that'll leave 8 teams that'll match up. So those 8 teams, 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, so on and so forth. And then those losers fall off the side, and you take those winners and insert the 4 that was out and put them back in, and then they play.
Yes, sir.
I think we may figure this out. Guys, that's why you hit the damn subscribe button. I mean, is that not it, Birds? That's why you hit the button. We just figured out how this may, and I don't know, we may get on here next year, and it's just all totally different. Idiots. Well, they know.
I think it's going to be fun, though. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the future, and a lot of people don't like how it's going, and I mean, it's all right.
Well, there's going to be a lot of good games. So Jeff's saying SEC, Big 10, Big 12, the AAC, and the Sun Belt. So that'll be okay. All right. So let's just, all right, Jeff. So Sun Belt, let's just do this before we get off here.
Who's the Sun Belt? Who's going to be the Sun Belt champion and the AAC champ? I don't even know who's in the AAC.
Let's see. Sun Belt Conference would be American football.
I'll look up the
Tulane,
AAC.
SMU, UTSA, Memphis, Florida Atlantic. Okay. Right now, Tulane is 1. They're 7-1 overall. Okay. And they're ranked. Are they still ranked?
They're number 24. Number 24.
All right. There you go. Tulane, 24. Conference champion of the Sun Belt. All right. You're out for that first round. So they're going to pull but see, that's not what it said. See, it said they're going to pull the top 4 conference champs. But those 2 teams, maybe then the AAC and the Sun Belt they'll be allowed to get in.
Who's in the Sun Belt? Yeah, they'll be the 5 and 6 seeds.
Sun Belt is Tulane and SMU and UTS.
That's the American Conference. That's the AAC.
Oh, there it is.
Sun Belt, Appalachian State, Coastal Carolina, those teams. James Madison is undefeated still. I don't know.
Okay, there we go. AAC is Georgia Southern is 6-2. Coastal, see that I just talked about them a while ago. So Marshall, App State, and they have an East and West. So see, Troy is in that conference. They're in the Sun Belt.
I can't even find the. I'm looking for like the standings, conference standings. I can't find it.
I just typed in something and it come up. The standings is James Madison is 1 in the East.
There you go.
Troy is number 1 in the West. Troy is 6-2.
So right now it looks like James Madison sitting there undefeated will be your.
And if they've already beat Troy, then they're probably a lock for their conference then.
They beat Troy 16-14.
Ooh, so they're a lock for their conference. So, well, and what rank were they? 21, 22?
Yeah, they would still have to beat Troy again, right? They play a conference championship, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean they still have East and West, so
yeah.
Well, then say Troy beats them. Right now you got Troy in there, so Troy.
Either way, James Madison or Troy. I mean, you're talking about a team that's not ranked making it. I just don't know how they could do how that would happen.
So are they going to take the AAC and the Sun Belt team and they're just going to let them in it? Because they're going to take the top four, the big dogs, and let them be by. And then that'll leave, well, you can't do 4 from 12 is 8. So 8 of the,
They would
that'll
be
only
the 5
leave,
and 6 seed.
that'll leave only 6 teams. So that'll be like number 6 through 12.
Let me draw it out like we just did earlier. And
5 through 9.
2 teams in there. That'd be crazy.
It'd have to be 5 through 9 would be in, and then they're going to add these 2, but not by number. I just mean 6 other teams plus these two champions. That makes sense.
Yeah.
6 random teams, like maybe Ole Miss gets in, or maybe Kansas State, gets in, even though they lost the conference championship game. Maybe they didn't fall far enough, down, and they still get to be ranked, in there at number 8 or 9. But they're going to put in these ACC and Sun Belt champions to play.
What's crazy is going to be like, I'm going to do this one more time, and I think this will make for some blowouts here. So Ohio State is your 1 right now, correct?
Yeah.
And UGA.
No, TCU is.
What is it? Michigan, and then Florida State.
Yeah.
All right, so they're okay. No, but that's not your champions though. I'm looking for your champions. Crap. All right. Number 1, let's say Ohio State wins it. All right, Ohio State's your highest ranked champion.
Yeah.
And then we'll go Georgia, 2 seed. Then we'll go Florida State.
Yeah.
ACC.
Florida State and Texas. We'll just use Texas as a Big 12 champ, just to say.
Got you. Texas. So your top 4 is Ohio State, UGA, Florida State, Texas. Your next 2 would be your Tulane at 5.
And James Madison.
And I don't see, there's no way that they're going to do that. That just doesn't. I mean, I guess they could, but. So that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots.
6, yeah.
Michigan. Go ahead.
Yeah, those 6 spots will belong to 5 through.
Yeah, the next highest
5 through
ranked
10.
teams, right?
Yeah.
So Michigan, Washington, Oregon, Alabama, because Texas is a champion.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, and Ole Miss. So your 5-12 matchup would be Tulane hosting Ole Miss.
Mm-mm. See, they're out round 1. What's the point?
Oklahoma at James Madison.
Come on, man.
You got to go Oklahoma on that. There's no way that you don't.
So what are we doing? Why are we? That's what everybody's. Why are we going to let these teams in? It's just they ain't never had a chance to win nothing. Well, that's what they said about TCU, and they lost 147 to nothing. It might as well be. And they look like they never played football in their life.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't understand how you can include those other divisions because you know what you're going to get when you put Tulane and Ole Miss. I don't think you're getting a good game.
Yeah, no, even though they're good in their conference and their region, how would let's say like Pisgah's a runner up over here? Okay, let's just say them like last year they were runner up in the 2A. 5 had beat them out for whatever to go to state. Pisgah's a good football team, but now are they going to be able to go down and match up with a runner up in the 7A like Auburn High School? No, it ain't even close. They got more kids standing on the sideline at Auburn High School than Pisgah's got in the school.
Yeah.
Right. So that's, and you can be fine for your areas. And Troy may upset James Madison, and win the conference. That'd be cool, man. And Troy's a good football team. We got people, we know kids that play down there.
You want to know something crazy? It says Massey says Ole Miss 28-20 over Tulane.
I would have thought 28-16 or,
Yeah.
32. I believe they scored 5 or 6 touchdowns on Tulane.
I think so too. I mean, it's just.
But see, some of those games at Massey, what I've learned with it, if you don't have any other, there's no record of them teams playing. So what little knowledge it knows, it's going to give you some crazy score. Like you put Fife versus Cherokee County. I don't, it's not weird because it don't know. It ain't got nothing to compare to.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting matchup too.
Oh God, man! I wish they could do a jamboree. That'd be just for me. I know I'm a fan, of our local team, and of course everybody, knows about Fife and the tradition they have there. Coach Benefield winning 300 at Fife. Anyway, so yeah, those James Madisons and Tulanes. Now they're gonna see. They won't be by. It's just going to be those 4. It'll just be New Texas, Florida State, Ohio State, and Georgia. They're going to get pulled out and not have to play. So they'll leave 8 teams, like you said. And then 2 of those 8 will be those 2 conference champions. So that leaves 6 spots for the Cinderella, as the sports writers want to say. There's 6 places for some, weird team to come in out of nowhere, like a 3-loss Texas Tech team to slide in somehow and just go in there and just start drilling people. I just don't see it. That's just not how it works. There's more upsets in college football than there are high school. I'll say that, but the chances are just not high.
I'm probably going to cause a mess on your side over there, but Massey in that hypothetical, Fife at Cherokee County. Has Cherokee County 35-17.
Wow. So sure. Yeah, I know, but there's no data. Like, how does it know? So it's a computer, and it's going to take all the points that Fife scores, which is not a lot because they don't give up a lot, and it's going to do the same thing with Cherokee County. They've scored about more points probably in all their games, I guess, if you do a for and against. But man, their starters ain't give up, but 14 or 20. So that computer lays out all the objectives of possibilities. It's really cool how it works. But yeah, that's what if Troy does upset and have a huge game and they upset James Madison? We won our conference. All right, first game you get Alabama. What? What do you mean we get Alabama? Yeah, that's who you're gonna play. Well, I don't want to play Alabama. That's the big school up the road. Where are we going to play at?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's not fun. The competitive juices in the Brody Daltons and stuff. He played at Fife. He's down at Troy now. And Ike Rouse. They love the competition, okay? And other kids that play down there. There's a lot of kids down there that will probably, look forward to playing the game and think, we're probably going to lose. But, man, I get to go out here and knock heads with them. But what's besides the celebratory watch that you get or a set of Apple earbuds or whatever you call them, what's really the, I don't know. I guess besides to go shake hands with some of the best players in the nation or some guys that you probably met you hadn't seen since some camps or something during summer 2 years ago. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Probably guys that you idolize, really.
Or that maybe too. Maybe a guy that, you played against at another high school. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out there's a chance. There's always a chance. The game's played on the field. It's not played through stats. But, I got a big old mouth and a big butt, I guess. Butts are made of hayseeds and chicken scratch. You ever heard that?
That's the first time I've heard that one.
Uncle Charles used to say that. I guess he's talking about telling stories at the barn, hayseeds, and scratching around with the chickens, telling a bunch of lies, having a big butt. I don't know. That's probably about your best possibilities is some of those teams to try to make it in. And is it going to make it fun? I guess. But some of those matchups.
Yeah.
Now we've just laid out some of those other ones. Hey, who was it? Ole Miss, Texas. I dig it, man. I like it. Missouri, Washington. I mean, that's like what's Halloween tonight. So that's like.
And the second thing we had, it would be Michigan, Alabama.
See, that's a good traditional rival. But Missouri versus Washington's like the Bride of Cherokee versus Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
right?
definitely different. Yeah.
Or Texas Chainsaw Massacre versus Pinhead, like just totally different, Poltergeist versus
the Hellraiser or whatever.
Yeah. Well, let's get off here and go to work tomorrow. I think we broke it. I think we about figured it out. I hope everybody had a good time with us tonight. Come back, hang out Sunday night at 6:00. Birds, where can they find you at through the week? Y'all be Thursday night or tomorrow?
I think it's going to be tomorrow night. We're going to do our pick 'em show for this week. We might be on the computer like normal. We've toyed around with a live on location pick 'em for this.
Those are fun
for this next week.
They're a little aggravating, but if you do it, after you do it, it's fun. You'll be glad you did, but it's a little aggravating. Those live pick 'em stuff, like to be there at the fields, and I enjoy doing it, but it's a little. You gotta spend a little time.
Yeah, it take time setting up, which, I mean, I don't mind it, but it just depends on if me and the other guys can all get on the same page, But schedule wise, but one more time through, right quick. This is your top 25. One more time through. Air Force at 25, Tulane, Kansas State, Okie State, Kansas, USC higher than what we thought.
Crazy.
UCLA, Utah, Tennessee at 17. Oregon State, Notre Dame. They just keep Notre Dame hanging around.
That's because they're Notre Dame, man. That's just period.
LSU, Louisville, Missouri. I'm not sure Louisville. I think Louisville has had kind of a flash in the pan. Yeah, they played well, but I'm not sure if they're 13 worthy. We'll find out.
Yeah, they'll have to be at Florida State.
Yeah. Missouri. Obviously, we know big game next week. Who's Missouri got this week? I'm not sure. Maybe off this week. I can't remember.
Let's see.
Seems like they're off this week.
Oh, for goodness gracious. Oh, for the Lord's sake. What does this thing do?
I should know the answer to that, but I don't.
Well, this weekend will be the 4th.
Yeah, they're off.
The 4th, they play y'all. They play Georgia plays Missouri this week.
Oh yeah, duh. I don't know what I was thinking.
That's the biggest game. Your career, your life depends on this game Saturday, Birds. If you can show your face at work Monday morning, come the 6th, November 6th.
Well, I'm probably going to jinx this, but I think Georgia covers. I just don't think Missouri. I think Georgia gets off the field on 3rd down, and Missouri doesn't slow it down too much. Anyway, that's just early prediction.
Yeah.
Penn State at 11, Ole Miss 10. Oklahoma, your favorite, Matt, at 9.
I would swap Penn State. I'm just telling you, I'd swap Missouri and freaking Oklahoma.
I think Ole Miss for sure. Ole Miss for sure, probably.
I would put Oklahoma at 12 and put Missouri at 9. Be better for Georgia, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Alabama at 8, Texas at 7, and we keep. I think as long as they're both one-loss teams, you're going to see that Alabama right behind Texas just because
Yeah.
of the head-to-head. But we've talked about how Texas could easily drop with the quarterback being out.
They got Kansas State this weekend, man. What,
Yep.
at 2:30? Or no, they play at 11, I think. Yeah, look out for that.
Yep. Happened before, probably happen again.
Yeah, kid.
Oregon at 6, Washington 5, Florida State. And I was kind of surprised that Michigan wasn't ahead of Georgia, but Michigan 3, Georgia 2, Ohio State 1. I
Yeah.
get it. I understand Ohio State's 2 wins. I get why Michigan's at 3 without, any really big wins. 110th or worse strength of schedule. I think Georgia's strength of schedule is like 100 so far, but it's about to ramp up.
Let me hit this comment here. Jody spent a little time writing
Typing it in, yeah.
writing a small book. Jody's probably the head guy. He's not a Georgia fan by no means, but if you win back-to-back national titles and they put you second in the rankings, I hope Michigan, the Spygate, beats Ohio State by 30, because we all know what happens when Michigan makes the playoffs. It would be no surprise to me if Bama wins out and they try to find a way to keep them out of the playoffs. It'll be interesting here on out. Always glad to get your show, Matt. Thank you very much, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Good stuff, Bird.
Alrighty,
This is your idea, and again, we appreciate it. I enjoy doing this stuff, and we'll see what happens next week. We'll see what happens Saturday.
Yeah.
Georgia, Missouri, Texas, Kansas State. Bama is the off team this week. No catch. LSU coming back.
I normally find myself sitting at the computer desk listening to y'all on Sunday night. So
Yep.
that's why I comment in all the time. So
Yeah, come hang out with us, and we'll break down some of these games. And I will be at Cherokee County, Fort Payne. Yeah, I'm very interested how that's going to go. Some people think that Fort Payne can run with them. Some people feel like Center's going to beat them by 3 touchdowns. So
that's non-region, is it not?
it is not a region game. No,
That is weird. I mean, in Georgia, you don't have any of those type games.
it's an older game. They used to play more back in the day, like they used to play Alexandria. Coach Kelly's brought in some old games that some of the guys, like I guess when Brad was playing, Weaver, the line coach, when they were there and stuff. When Todd was around, those Alexandria and Fort Payne were teams that Cherokee County always had on the schedule because they're big schools. They're 6A, they're bigger schools. So it was always you get to really see some big guys before you get ready to go to the playoffs.
Well, I will be Chattooga's done for the season. They have their last bye week. They got a win 16-10 over Coosa last week.
Yeah.
And I'll be at Trine. I'll be at Trine to watch Trine and Darlington for the region championship.
How did what's his name? Zeta, how'd he do?
He had a pretty good game. Had a few catches and some good runs. Still young, man. They'll have a bunch of seniors back next year, a bunch of juniors.
Yeah, he's a natural. He's a natural talent. He is.
Good
He's
player.
only going to get better. As more he plays, the game's going to slow down for him.
And they've got a bunch of kids that's played from day one. That's had to just because they didn't have the people.
Yeah.
So I mean, they'll be in their 3rd and 4th year in high school football. So it'll be big.
All right, y'all come back Sunday night, show 210. We're breaking down all these college games, and I'm sure we'll hash out some of these top 10 teams here. And again, why I don't like Oklahoma, and we'll bunch of losers. All right, y'all keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God, and enjoy the rest of your spooky night. And don't forget to, go over to Burgess' page and like his page and follow him. They'll be on Thursday night.
It should be tomorrow night. Hopefully.
Tomorrow night, Pick'em show.
Yes, sir.
All right. See y'all guys. Thank you, Birds.
Yes, sir.